Okay, in the last screencast we were looking at the extracted fields. So what do we do with all of these fields? We go to trigger actions. So let's go to trigger actions. This is where we build actually the script that we want to execute. We are presented with two columns here. On the left is a set of tools that we can, or actions that we can use, and this is the body of the trigger. As we go along, we will encounter different actions, and we'll talk about them. First one is update the database. Actually, no. At the beginning is setting of the variables. So we let's see, it's probably somewhere at the bottom here, part of miscellaneous tools. So you can basically click and drag the variable into here, the action into here. So I'm not going to do that since we have them already. Set variable PDF receipt. Set variable is new, or geo IP country. So once you drag the action, you start initializing the variable. Give it a name, PDF receipt, and value. Right now nothing is in the value, which means it's just a declaration of the variable string. The same with is new, and the same with geo IP country. Alright, we can see the checkboxes. If we uncheck, this will not be executed. The next we see updated database action. On the left, it's right here. We can drag that action here and start working with it. So let's double click and see how it's initialized. So on the left again, we see the extracted fields, the fields that we basically, or the ThinkAutomation basically defined for us. These are extracted from the email. These are user-defined fields or variables. And these variables are the ones that are set inside the script. We just saw 3 of the variables set. And what follows is built-in variables. These are the built-in variables that we have access to, such as message body of the email, from, to, etc. As we go down, we see date and time, etc. Day of the week, weekday number, we will see that we actually saw that in the trigger condition, weekday number 6 or 7, where Saturday and Sunday, etc. We also have an interesting thing, name account ID. So on the right side we have the body of this update database, and we basically see insert, update, and select tabs. Insert is a default, update is here, and select is here. These are basically the SQL commands. We are insert into the tables called order. We are inserting these particular fields. We're listing the fields of the table, and then we are giving the values. These are the add parameters that correspond to the table fields, and they are initialized when this insert command is executed by the variables extracted fields in the order as they come in. Order number goes into order, first, second, third, etc. So let's look at the update. Regular update SQL command. Update orders, set product equal to product, etc., etc. These parameters are initialized again in the sequential order by the extracted fields. select a simple select star from the orders where order equals to the order, meaning when we execute the select command with a given parameter order, with the first parameter, it's initialized and the select is executed with a given condition. Alright, so let's say OK. By the way, select dialog you can pick. It says either generic or select OSQL server, etc. You can give additional conditions on which this will execute, and also you can give schedule the execution. In this case, this checkbox is not checked, but if it was, then it would execute after 7 days. So this is not checked right now. We'll cancel it so that we don't make a change. Additionally, we can update a CSV file, meaning it will append a record, extracted record of these fields into the file called orders.csv in the root of the C drive. The file format is ASCII. File delimiter is comma. Additional options are pipe, tab, escape. Right. And the line terminator is carriage return line feed. We also have these options. If we click on don't add field header line when creating, we will not have the header lines in the beginning of the .csv, but we didn't check that. Alright, now send file via email. We're not doing that, but frequency, if we check the send file via email, we would be able to select the frequency. We're not doing that. We're just creating a file without sending an email. So what do we have so far? We received an email. It satisfied the condition. We extracted the fields from the subject and the body of the email. And now we start working with data. We are updating the database. And we are updating the .csv file. The next thing we can do is we can run a report. Let's click on the Run a Report tool. And again, we are presented with two columns here, with an already familiar, the extracted fields, variables that we built, and the built-in variables. On the right side, we see action settings. We call this report 1, and we can export that report into a file. In this case, we selected PDF. Other options are available, all of these. And extract to a unique temporary file. We can do that or not. Or optionally save as this particular file. That's what we're doing. We're saving it, the file, the output into the file called c:\port_, and this is a variable reference number. Reference number is one of the extracted fields found right here. Okay, so each order has a reference number. That's how we find the order information if we need to go to it. Next field is assign saved report file name to PDF receipt. What are other options? PDF receipt is one of the set variables. We can basically assign this report name order_reference number.pdf to a variable PDF receipt which we defined in our script, in our trigger. We will see it when we go back to the text. Don't print a report, just export it is checked. Self-explanatory. Okay, if we had to print, we would use a printer, in this case a default printer. Otherwise, it would be one of the printers that are available in this list, installed on this computer or a network. So these are the report parameters, but how do we build a report? We can edit it right here. So ThinkAutomation gives us a report editor tool, which is an excellent thing to have. Again, on the left side it gives the fields, extracted fields, built-in fields right here, and I don't see the set parameters. Oh, actually, yes, the set parameters are here as well. PDF receipt is new, etc. And we are not going to go over actually how we build the report, but I assume this is just dragging of the fields into the positions, fields and labels. But just showing that you have this available. Okay, and you're removing buttons. You can save it as, and you can open, I guess, you can open other reports. Alright, so let's go back to our trigger. So this was the run report trigger action. Let's stop this video and continue the next video.